Rachel Schindler, a founder with Revested Group at Realogics, Sotheby's International Realty. Matthew Gardner and I were just talking about pivotal trends in our industry, mostly macroeconomic things happening to the market. But you and your partner, Robin, are rebuilding a new way of being as part of team development and legacy planning. Share with us a little bit about what you're doing, and I think this is a very important topic.
Yeah, I think this is something that's really new that we're seeing in the industry is going away from the single proprietor and building a team. There's so many reasons it's a good idea right now. Mostly it's just peace of mind. You get balance, you get vacations when you find the right partner.
Right.
And that's the hardest thing, I think, is making sure that you find the right partner, because so many agents are used to competing against themselves with other people as individuals. But when you build a team, it's amazing how different it is when you're in a brokerage that supports that development.
Sure.
And you get this freedom and peace because you have someone that you aren't competing with that you can bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, yin and yang. I mean, Robin isn't with you right now because she's traveling, whether it's family or lifestyle pursuits, but not all brokerages are created equal. And Matthew, you've worked with many that have different models about how their comp plan works. We're just focused on the ascension of the team, right, and basically their gross commission income. So their growth is our growth. What do you see as being the opportunities for teams in the future?
It's huge. I mean, having teams, yes, it is the exception to the rule.
Okay.
So they're very much in the minority. As Robin said, what's fascinating is that economics term, economies of scale, that you can, rather than being that sole proprietor, where you've got to be on 24/7, 365 days a year, teams, you don't have to do that. So you can actually have a bit of a life, which is actually a rarity. So, but I see my job is always to try and find the bad in things. It makes sense on so many levels to have it, as opposed to being your own little island of isolation.
Right.
And I think teams will ultimately do better because of that copacetic nature of it. So they could be building off each other.
I think that's a big part of what we do too, is the way we look at it is a comprehensive agent plan for the team. So I want them all to be able to stand on their own, and my mentorship allows that. It also gives me the freedom and flexibility to go to my kids' soccer games and know that I have totally competent, successful agents on their own who can sit in open house or help me with an inspection, or I'm there to help them whenever they need it. And I think it's just a different way of working. And for us as Revesta, it's given us so much more joy and confidence in what we do every day. And I will say I'm very thankful to Realogics Sotheby's International Realty, because they have actually gone after us as a team, right, to support everything that we're doing.
And you were formerly Robin in Rachel Group, which obviously if your name's on the door, it's a very reason it's not Jones Sotheby's International Realty. I work with a lot of people to drive a solution forward, and we wanted to build out a legacy plan, and you're doing a great job at showing us how to do this real time, you and Robin and your team, who we're going to get to meet here in a moment. But you do not need to sunset your revenue in the sunset of life. You can be the mantle photo of the team and say, go team, go, and be on vacation or work on a second business while you've already built this infrastructure.
I think the key thing is, my husband used to joke with me when I first started in the business in 2004, way back when. He's like, Rachel, you got to run your business like a business. And I think a lot of agents forget that we're doing it. I remember one of the first things was make sure you put money aside for taxes, right? And that was taught to us. And now it is really looking at getting into the later part of life and looking at retirement. How can we build something that other team members can buy into?
Right.
And it's not our names as the brand, but we're building a proper brand that is a successful business on its own.
We were talking about the great wealth transfer and the demographics. Right. And some of very notable companies here in the Pacific Northwest have been around for 100 years, or certainly 40 or 50 years. And some of those original brokers are still with them. So now they're in their late 70s and they have this incredible book of business. Are they in the right spot, to retire there?
And that's very much it. Yes, the aging of the broker population is going to be a huge factor, I think, in the next couple of decades, certainly, if not sooner. I mean, the belief that people who watch $1 Million Listing and they're all got 20 somethings.
Right.
That is not.
Is that how it is, really?
Yeah.
No, exactly. That's very much not the case. And so, because you are seeing that, they are getting to an age now that they're saying, okay, twilight of my career, or I want to be done. They've been working in real estate for a long time, with 30, 40 years maybe.
Right.
How do they perceive with that value that they expect to say, all the work that I've done, yes, it's paid me, it's been great, but does it just disappear?
I'm thinking of one of our teams that are living their best life, and they purchased a home in south of France.
Yeah.
They work with their beautiful dog running along the beach, and we all know who they are now. But I mean, this is a global brand, and I swear it's the same color blue as a passport for a reason. It should be a lifestyle, right? Where you can be traveling the world making referrals. Some of the agents out there never put a sign in the yard. They're never putting a contract together. They're literally just transferring leads and opportunities around the world.
Well, I think that's the benefit of this brand, especially like you said, it's not only global, but it's all about the relationships and connections. And so I know that anywhere in the world I can call up and my referral or my connection is going to have a great experience, and my client's going to have a great experience helping them wherever they are. That's really unique and special. And I think that's also, when you have that same connection mentality, you can build a team also, right? Because it's all about communication and collaboration and those things that are the antithesis of what most brokers are in other brokerages. So
because they're less collaborative, they're more competitive. And I look at how you reach past county lines, past state lines, and bring people to you and your referral network. You recently, Revesta hosted an event here just a couple of weeks ago
Summer in Seattle.
Summer in Seattle, and thank goodness it was sunny. But I mean, you had dozens of powerful brokers from other markets that sometimes it's their first trip to the Pacific Northwest. It was eye-opening. You are causing conversations that are going to lead to future transactions, and that's what networking is all about. And you did that with the Revesta team, with our full support, using our infrastructure. And gosh, I was just so proud of you. But how many times have you seen that happen in other companies, Matthew? It's just
very,
a model.
very rarely.
Right.
Again, they tend to, either individual brokers, they're a little fiefdom, or within their own company. But they're working in isolation. And that just doesn't make sense from a math standpoint.
Right.
Because the missed opportunity that you can have with this program that you just generally won't have. So you're really kind of spinning your own wheels as much as you can, but it's in isolation. That I just don't see how that makes the most sense.
You need to scale. And
Right.
AI is not going to solve the problem for you. We talked about those trends too.
That too.
And
right.
you're well on your way to cross the century mark again, 100 million in sales. You've done it before. We are talking to teams that have really significant aspirations, and they're not sub-brokerages. They're just organized groups that are demographically aligned to the different business verticals. You're very passionate about House Bill 1110 and new construction. You're helping us as a mentor train our other agents. I'm so thankful for that collaboration. But you could literally have a whole new construction and land brokerage within your organization. You could have millennials working in the tech community, different demographics. You have people up north, down south. We have 6 beautiful offices throughout central Puget Sound, and you could have a Revesta member in each of those offices and serving Kitsap County or down south or up north. So it's just a different way of framing the way you want to enterprise your business.
Yeah, I think it's different too, because both Robin and I came from business backgrounds. And I managed a team of 20 when I was at Macromedia way back when. And so for me, it was just, I want to share the knowledge that we've gained over the past 20 plus years in this industry and help the new generation come up. And a big part of that is just building this team and this brand within Sotheby's so that we can share this knowledge no matter who it is or where they are, and I'm smiling to my team member off site. And we're just thrilled to be Revesta, and I think all of us have a lot more fun doing this job because it's hard. Real estate is really challenging and hard, and it's a 24/7 job for most people, but the great thing is when you have a team, all of a sudden, it's not. So
why would now be a good time to do this, Matthew? I mean, obviously there's some tax deferral strategies we talked about earlier, and these teams are making significant incomes, and there are some creative things you can do, creating an S Corp and such. But we're also at this inflection point in the market. The average agent, I saw this statistic nationally, so many people got licensed during the pandemic that it was approaching 50% of them did either 0 or 1 transaction the other year.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Wow.
Anytime you start seeing the market go parabolic, like the early 2000s, a good example. Then, of course, everyone wanted to be a real estate broker.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to make a couple of phone calls, and we're going to get a big check.
You'll be in Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to sell. Okay.
And so they do that. However, when the financial crisis happened, crash happened, all those brokers, they went, oh, it's work. Bye-bye, I'm gone.
Right.
I need a paycheck. So yeah, we saw that build up through the pandemic. As we know, massive amount of transactions, more than 6 million done, which is a very rare time. Now it's changing. And so now they think maybe it's not as easy as I've been watching on TV. And so they're doing 0 or 1. That makes no sense. I mean, you can't support yourself.
So how do you scale then? I mean, jumping in with your kind of leadership, learning how to do referrals, learning to go to where the market's going next so you can get there first, and just being really smart about that operation is going to give new opportunities for your teammates.
yeah. I think consistency is really important too. I mean, the reality is a lot of the new agents were new for a reason. They thought it was going to be easy, and this is not an easy job.
Right.
And Robin and I have been through the downturn, and we've came out the other side. And I think that, over time you build those relationships with your clients, and you build those relationships with your partners and vendors, and you have this network that is so powerful that, again, in regards to legacy planning, how do you pass that on, right? And what we want to do is we're here for the long term and for the forever of it, not for the boom market.
Well, I love that you say this, because I want this to be the last brand you ever need to join.
Yes,
and
sure.
and in fairness, we can talk about this. You were with us, and then you had left us. There were some attractions, there were some checks. There are ways to acquire a market share from competitors, I'll say. But you came back to us. Tell us a little bit what you did that for.
I think that we prefer, so our team especially, one, is getting fully supported here now, and we weren't when we moved over, even though that was what was being promised to us. And I think that's where we're seeing a difference for us. We made that decision during a time of change, and it was an opportunity that we thought we would explore.
Sure.
Ultimately, when we looked behind the Wizard of Oz, there wasn't really anything there that was different, significantly different, without them telling us, well, you have to hire someone to do this, and you have to hire someone to do this, and you have to hire someone to do this. And I was like, well, we came to you because that wasn't what you told us.
Or technology is going to answer all your challenges.
Which doesn't without someone doing the technology. There's only so far AI can go. You still need a person talking to it.
Right. Well, we're so glad you made the return, and others as well, but it is just a reminder to me as the owner and operator, who is unlicensed, by the way, intentionally.
Yay.
And none of my brokers want me to compete with them. They'd rather me collaborate with them, and everything I've been building for 15 years becomes yours. And you found a way to transfer that to your next, movers and shakers within Revesta. These are the agents that you are showing them a pathway forward, because maybe in the next 5 years you decide to do less of it.
Correct.
And now you've got the teams that are going to continue it forward.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that too is making sure that they're team players.
Yes.
Because it's very different from the people who are sole proprietors, where they see their check and they're like, woohoo, that's my check, but they don't realize there's so much more behind it. And I think you have to really come from a place of collaboration. And that's where I think for us, we found that within the people. I mean, Robin and I have been partnered since 2011.
Right.
Yeah, and we're not related. And so it's pretty phenomenal. And then Jill, our client services manager, has been with us for 10 plus years. And Krissy, who's our, when we decided to do a team, Krissy was the first one. She's been with us about 3 years now. And
fabulous.
Amazing. And these are people too, also our team members have come over from other brokerages, and they've tripled their business and had, from the first year gone from where their average sales are 400,000 to now doing a almost $5 million sale in the first year of being on our team. And they've been in the industry for 4 years. So there's just so much opportunity here. Also, like you said, there's the new development platform. We do get access to luxury listings that are phenomenal and are amazing to market and promote. And it just helps us build the brand and stay true to who we are as Revesta. And Vesta is the Roman goddess of home, hearth, and family. So that's where the name comes from. And so we stay true to that, but by offering the best for our clients.
And Matthew, that's a team within our organization, and obviously it's a franchise system. There's lots of different brands, lots of different models. We're seeing kind of two core trends right now, some that are happening to our benefit and some that are not. There's a flight to quality, which we're receiving a lot of that business, and those kinds of brokers that have an abundance mindset and that we grow together. And sometimes we will lose an agent that is attracted to a cloud-based company that offers no infrastructure, very little services, but they're kind of in vogue too. So it's a flight to quantity, more transactions, sometimes at discounted rates, which we don't see as much over here. I mean, how do you think this is going to play out in the next 5 years?
Well, what you've got right here is proof of concept.
Okay, yeah.
It's not a case of, okay, I've been told this is what it's going to be, but we're not really sure if it is or not.
Yeah.
It's worked,
right?
Clearly. And congratulations on that sales volume. It's remarkable. Yeah. So it's not a case of you need to believe in us because we can't prove it, but it's going to be great.
Right.
Yeah. It is. It's demonstrating. And again, if you also look at brokers, especially those that have been around since the early 2000s or at least a decent length of time, and if they have been those sole proprietors just on their own, or if they're starting to think about, okay, time for me to quit, but all that work, all that effort to build up their own brand, that evaporates, it disappears. All of a sudden they end up with, okay, I worked with a real estate broker for 30 years. At the end of it, it just stops.
So you're going to do $250 million in transactions a year soon enough. I know it's going to happen for you. Why not just be your own brokerage?
It's just not worth. Well, one, I don't want the legal. Are you kidding? My husband still tells me to run my business like a business. There's no way I'm running my own brokerage. And I know there is a brokerage who's been trying to get us by saying you could be your own brokerage. It's different. I think the value of a team is that collaboration and that communication. Again, I'm just kind of pounding it in there because you don't get that if you're your own brokerage.
Yeah.
You're a little ship sailing out on a sea without any support. And the other thing with Sotheby's, and you know this, I mean, my friends at Sotheby's are in Austin, they're in Miami, they're in Dallas, they're in Southern California, Northern California, they're in Montana, Wyoming, and these are people I talk to all the time. And I've only met them because I'm with this brand.
Yeah, so the brand adds value and it's worth it for the cost is really what you're saying, and I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. I didn't know you were talking to other people.
No, they you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We get the spam emails and you're just like, unsubscribe.
It is an era of the great agent migration. I know this. Yeah. And we see great opportunities for us in how we're growing and scaling, and the legacy plan is part of it. And even if you're a newer agent, you could mentor with someone like yourself, and this will be the only brand you ever need to know because we're going to scale with you through the sunset of your career. But there's also, a lot of Wall Street influence, for some of these brokerages and models that are trying to be proven still in terms of how this is really going to roll, and a lot of disruption, in our industry, whether it's
very much. Certainly, if you're publicly traded, you're only as good as your last financial quarter. Wall Street owns you.
Right.
So again, and that's the evolution of real estate. I mean, you have to remember, it goes back from something that housewives did back in the 1940s. As a bit of pocket money per se,
right,
to a multi-billion-dollar industry in the States. So given that, it's always going to evolve, and everyone's going to try and come up with the next best mousetrap.
Right.
I'm an economist, as you know. I mean, my job is to find the worst in every possible thing. But as I look at this particular model, I'm trying to pick holes in it. Very hard to do. The demographics going forward are going to meet that goal.
Right.
The aging of the existing workforce in real estate, that's going to have impacts as well. So fewer transactions, probably for a while, but market share is going to become increasingly important. It's not going to be about the next bright, shiny thing. because that we know historically never works.
Right.
Or it works for 2 minutes until you look underneath the skirt and realize it's not quite what you thought.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I look at it and say, yeah, is this going to be the future? Do I see this? And do I expect to see Wall Street look at this very closely as a way that, maybe this is going to have longevity, more so than, well, we're going to play this game or that game.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't work. We've seen that with obviously some of the acquisitions that have occurred in the last several months.
Sure. Well, we're really focused on Main Street, not Wall Street. And I would rather talk about our core advantages and our culture. You know, this is still a people business. We're not being replaced by robots. And because of who you are, Rachel, you and Robin and the team that you attract, you can see what is happening here. And it's really so impressive. So I thank you for sharing your story. And Matthew, thank you for adding your voice.
Spacing you.
Yeah, you too. Always good.